and better songs and more likability factor because it's very hard to like a posh fucker.
He's super posh.
Jarvis Cocker got away with it by being a mad cunt.
He actually worked. Stuart Price done some work with Jarvis Cocker.
Did he?
He was hired. He was hired in 2012 to create the official theme song for the 2012 Olympic Games.
Right.
And
that's good money.
Yeah. So
that's the call you want to get.
Yeah, he ended up doing a bunch of shit. He done the 2012 Olympic Games. So every time they were showing like highlights or results, the music you heard in the background, Stuart Price made. He done a fuck ton of remix work. I mean, a fuck ton of remix work.
That's good money as well.
Yeah.
I think Aphex Twin used to get between $1,000 and $3,000 for remixes.
Yeah.
And the hilarious thing about them was, I think I might have mentioned this before, he'd already have compositions made up.
And he just
and if they're in the same key, I don't think he'd even change much and call it that. And people are like, yeah, I don't get how that's related to my song, but here's your $2,000 from whatever. Anyway.
I know Price has a thing where he prefers to keep vocal arrangements. If he's remixing a song,
good.
He understands that. Like,
because you can't. Sorry, just you can't pull a song out of someone's psyche, fuck it around, and throw it back and expect them to like it, unless you capture the best hook of it, and even then,
the only remix. The only remix I prefer over the original is the Pendulum remix of Voodoo People. I think it's a better song than the original.
I think it's more enjoyable, I don't... Oh, it's hard. It's 50-50 for me.
The reason I like that Pendulum one is they take one of the kind of sub-riffs and make it the main riff, and they make the main riff a background riff. Yeah,
I will say that remixing The Prodigy and coming up with a fucking problem for me and you to pick one is a win already.
Easily. Yeah. So he done remixes for Depeche Mode, he done remixes for Katy Perry, Coldplay, U2. He ended up producing the solo album for Brandon Flowers from The Killers.
Killers have come up they're going to come up a few times in this because we've already got him working with Stuart Price and Flood, and he's going to come again. The Killer's going to come again. So again, like U2, they're doing what and Coldplay as well do the same thing. They copy they follow U2. What are U2 doing?
That's
what producers are they getting? Yeah. We want to sound like that. Yeah.
That's what they want to do. This Pet Shop Boys song "Will o' the Wisp," it's like I said, it's off the latest Pet Shop Boys album. I really like it. I gave it fucking 2 or 3 spins on the bus. I'm walking around. I'm not a massive fucking Pet Shop Boys fan. They're fine. I don't hate them. I'm not against them like you are, to a degree.
I'm not even against them. I just think there's bands like Sparks and Erasure that
done it better. Yeah, I'm with you. There's something about Pet Shop Boys. It's just this iconic fucking brand.
I love It's a Sin. Can't argue that song.
Yeah. There's something about the way all of their albums have always been. Doesn't matter what year they come out, they always sound like they came out in the 80s. But they do take advantage of kind of modern recording techniques. Yeah. And that gives them this sharpness, yet that feel. Like, you can absolutely tell that, like, the lads in the Pet Shop Boys probably haven't actually enjoyed music since, like, 1987.
They didn't look like they were enjoying it when they were doing it.
Yeah. But what they're doing is they're taking this, like, 1986, 1987 model, and they're like, okay, what's a cool new synth, and how do we make it sound absolutely outrageous?
Yeah, like the other guy, I don't know his name, not Neil, fucking what's his face, not the singer. The other guy is clearly great. I found myself a little music nerd.
Yeah.
He's like,
who's going to do it all?
He's like Vince from Depeche Mode and Razor.
Exactly. My big thing with Pet Shop Boys is that I don't understand who actually listens to them. I don't know why the Pet Shop Boys are putting out new albums as opposed to just doing classic hits tours or appearing on these like best of the 80s fucking things.
Yeah, like I don't even know any gay people that like them. And to me, I was growing up going, that's a gay band.
Yeah.
No, not in a fucking insulting way. Just like back in the day, even though I thought
100% a gay band.
But
the Rob's a gay band. Doesn't matter what anybody says.
That's okay to start from the gay community and have a gay following. It's okay to be, but it's not cool to say a gay band.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was like, well, they're a gay band. I didn't have a problem listening to a fucking gay band, but I just didn't like them.
Yeah.
Because he sounded super posh in English. And I had a thing about that as a kid, obviously, because,
railing lads up the hole hunting foxes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Pet Shop Boys, I do like, but I don't understand who actually listens to them. I don't know why they're not on, like, now this is what I call music, fucking 2020, the tour with fucking, I don't even know who else.
Kim Wilde,
Schooly D,
Kim Wilde, Alphaville, and who have we got?
Kid and Play, fucking
Major.
Yeah, I don't understand.
If they're real lucky, Mark Hammond.
If you're super lucky, like
he will do it for a few quid every now and then. I've seen him do it. Yeah.
He needs that. He needs that fucking heroin.
He's arena tours. Yeah.
Anyway, Sir Price, Les Rhythms Zitales. I didn't know he'd done a lot of production work, and I went into it and I actually listened to the stuff he produced. I was like, this all sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah.
This is akin to one of my favourite albums of all time. But like, by God, the lad knows how to get like a good performance out of people. Who's your next one?
My next one is Daniel Lanois.
Okay.
The song I picked is one of my favourite songs that he's produced. Peter Gabriel, In Your Eyes, from the album So. There's actually a great documentary on, I think it's Amazon, have all those classic albums. Netflix don't have them because that's not cool enough for Netflix. There's not enough sexy child killers on Amazon, but the documentary's about sexy child killers. He's so sexy.
Dirty Bundys.
Dirty Bundys, so sexy though. Yeah, so if you search on Amazon Prime, they do have the classic album collection that you'd see on.
I don't have Amazon
Sky or something like that. Well, I have it for deliveries, like I said before, but so I just get the TV shows as well. And I remember watching this going, this is one producer where I will say my favourite work he's done is with Peter Gabriel. But he's also done U2's Unforgettable Fire, Joshua Tree, Achtung Baby with Flood and Brian Eno. He's also done albums for Bob Dylan after he was recommended to him by Bono. He's done Neil Young. He's done stuff for Brian Eno, just for Brian Eno. He's done Emmylou Harris and the Hot House Flowers.
Really?
Yeah. I think he may have done some stuff with Sinead O'Connor as well, because it's crazy how much these people moved in the same circles with Bono, Sinead O'Connor, and the kind of trifecta of Daniel Lanois, Flood, and Brian Eno. He's Canadian, actually. He's a musician and songwriter before even he's a producer. His style of writing I want to go into, because I haven't talked much about any of these people's writing a bit, and he's kind of the one. He's mad into something you love, lap steel guitars.
Oh, I hate them so much, lads. They hurt me.
Yeah.
They hurt me listening.
Yeah. So actually, I'll go into the story about kind of Saw a little bit, just really briefly. He was using Peter Gabriel was using the Fairlight synth, which is this massive legendary synth, and I can't really put it, because I'm not a producer and I'm particularly great at explaining what I like about production, which is a great thing to say on this podcast. I'm going to use a quote from Chris Roberts from Classic Rock, and he says, Lanois' production on So was textured with ambient details and immaculate warmth, giving each note room to breathe. It's textured, lavish, without being sterile. And that's literally, when I read that, I went, that's what I want to say. I'm not just going to steal
this lad nailed it.
I'm just going to mix his quote up and pretend it's mine. That's exactly what it is. Now, I know that he worked, like Peter Gabriel, a lot of bands put their name on the production credits with the producer, which is wanky, because I know that sometimes that's bullshit. I think in this case, Peter Gabriel is super hands-on and did work with. There's also an Irish guy who worked on this album as well. I fucking can't remember his name, but he was the mixing guy. Mixing guys are
Flaherty McGillicuddy.
His name is Keith something or something.
Bollocks.
His own stuff. Actually, when he's producing stuff, we'll go into the stuff he produced for Brian Eno, and this is a technique he took from Brian Eno. They create the basis of the song, the backbone, and then they add loads of stuff to it. But instead of whittling that stuff down, they take the middle out. They take the entire backbone out. So, and then re-listen to it, and the backbone is already being made by the other bits fitting around it. So it could be a heavy bass line,
very cool.
It could be the drum. So that's how ambient music is created. And Brian Eno and ambient music.
Jenga music.
I'm trying to figure out what way you do it. It's like deboning a ray fish.
Yeah. So if the bass is working around a particular, let's say a synth, the bass is working around, the drums are working around, the guitars are working around. We know
people that we talked about, like Lee Scratch Perry, who will add everything and take out the bits around the edges. His style,
take the meat out,
is to take the meat out and see does the rest still hold together. Basically, hold it around the same notes, the same changes, and that's when you get ambient music at its most. I think I read a quote from Brian Eno saying that he wants his music to be accessible, as easy in the background as it is to be completely focused on. So it's just there if you want it. You can listen to it without it being intrusive to whatever you're thinking or doing. But also, if you sit down and focus completely on it with headphones or something like that, you're getting the full whack of it. That's crazy. It's just crazy to think about making music like that, because I couldn't pull the backbone out of a song if I was doing that. I couldn't do it. I feel, because I couldn't listen to it with new ears again.
Well, chances are the backbone is what you were putting the effort into in the first place.
Of course. And that's my problem, is I get bored and I don't add enough. So he calls them garnishings and ornaments. So he puts garnishing and ornaments on the backbone and the main idea of a song, but then strips that away, hoping that the rest of it will keep the shape of the song. So that's kind of crazy. He's 3 of the albums that he's produced have won Best Album at the Grammys.
Really?
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like, all these people have been nominated for Grammys, especially the next guy I'm going to mention, but to have won 3 Grammys. And Daniel Lanois, I've known his name for a long time, but he wouldn't be a household name in music for the average punter. Some of the things he scored, Red Dead 2, some of the music in Red Dead 2, and one of the songs in it, and the theme for David Lynch's Dune.
Oh, very
cool.
He
did that with Brian Eno. So yeah, they have a load of albums together, and I haven't got the time to even dig into. I talked about Brian Eno before on the listener submission podcast. There's actually listener guides on where to start, because there's glam rock. Because Brian Eno used to be in Roxy Music, so you could start there, or the band before that, and afterwards, and go into his ambient stuff as well. So you can't really mention Flood and Daniel Lanois without mentioning Brian Eno. So we've covered those 3 now. Who is your next one?
My next one is Tim Simonon or Simonon. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Simonon.
Oh, the guy that did Ultra.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was the producer on Ultra for Depeche Mode. That's literally the only reason I picked them.
Do you know what? That's mad, because I was thinking about this today. That came out in 1997, as did Pop by U2, which Flood did. So obviously there was a fight to who got Flood.
I think so.
Maybe. But this album sounds like a harsher... I'm glad Flood didn't do this. I'm glad Tim Simeone, is it?
I think Simonon. I'm not sure.
Did this.
Simonon or Simonon. I don't know.
He took enough from grunge that I don't think Flood would have.
Now, this is where it gets kind of weird, right? I picked Depeche Mode Barrel of a Gun because it's up there. Like, it's fucking outrageous. Tim Simonon is the guy behind Bomb the Bass. He was the main guy.
Oh, way.
Yeah.
So there's a little thing going off in my head going, I knew that.
So he's the Bomb the Bass guy. It's weird. Bomb the Bass had a shit ton of albums, and everybody kind of liked the way they sounded, because he had this weird thing where he would program like a little bass line, a little drum line, and the rest of it would be sample based.
Right.
So he'd just take a load of chopped up samples and just pitch them and fuck them on top of like a bass fucking line and a little drum sample.
Something about that guy's name that's twigging me, and I can't figure out what it is.
I tell you, I'm almost certain I know exactly what you're going to talk about. It's something me and you have talked about 1,000. Actually, there's 2 things that me and you have talked about before on this podcast, and he is involved in both of them. First of all, I have to talk about the song.
I think it's Simonon.
I think it could be Simonon. I'm not entirely sure.
It sounds like stuttered cinnamon,
doesn't it? The Simonon. That's real bad. I'm sorry for saying that.
What did you say?
It's Simonon. I said it again. Double sorry.
It's because I asked you to be
You
fair,
did,
so that's
yeah.
on me.
I have to talk about the song.
I used to stutter sometimes.
Did you?
Just grew over, yeah.
Really?
So just should mention that.
I used to come 3 times, and I grew out of that as well.
What does that mean?
Like, I could do it 3 times in a row. I can't anymore. Too old.
Really?
Yeah, I can't do it anymore.
Oh, no, yeah.
I've done it 7 times one night, and I had to just eat pasta and eggs and water for ages. Many times?
Few.
The pacing, you know what? The production of the song is fantastic, but the way the song Barrel of a Gun is actually put together, the pacing of it, it never races towards the end. Like, when you hear the song in your head, it's different from what the way the song actually is. Yeah. And this is why I like this album.
This time of year for music, around this year, it was so good for mixing.
Yeah.
It's like, think about what this album is, right?
Yeah.
It's 80s sort of gothy new romantic meets grunge meets modern electronic
meets industrial, yeah,
and industrial, and this album